Hey there, Watson here, back with another tier list. As of the recording of this video, Final Fantasy 16 is due to be released tomorrow, and I figured what better time than to do a tier list of Final Fantasy games just to show you guys where I'm at with the games and what I think of them, where they go and whatnot. So we're going to start off with Final Fantasy 1. Although I played it a little bit when I was younger, I've maybe only played an hour or so of it, so I'm going to put it in the not played yet list. I do intend to buy the Pixel remasters at some point in the future. I am buying a PS5 and getting it tomorrow along with Final Fantasy 16. So I will probably buy the Pixel remasters then. If you're watching this in the future, I may already have a Let's Play up on the channel. So the same then for Final Fantasy 2 and 3. Final Fantasy 4, I did actually pretty enjoy. The characters are pretty cool. Took a while to finish when I played it when I was younger. But generally, I enjoyed the story. I like Cecil and Kane's little dynamic, the introduction of summoners and stuff like that. So I'm going to put Final Fantasy 4 in the A tier. Final Fantasy 5, I haven't finished 5. I did play it quite a bit. I didn't particularly vibe with the story. I know it's quite a few people's favourites, but for me, I'm going to put it in C. Just because I've not finished it, it's like, yeah, I can't put it any higher than C. Final Fantasy 6, I thoroughly enjoy. I think it's definitely... Can I swap it around? There we go. It's higher than 4. I'm not going to quite give it an S rank because I'm only going to give S rank to my absolute favourites. Final Fantasy 6 were probably about, I'd say, rank 3 or 4 in my top 10. But 6 is great. 6 has got great story, great cast of characters. It's just all around fantastic. I've only recently finished it. When I was younger, I got to like right up to the end where you have to go and fight Kefka, and I never actually did it. But yeah, I'd say Final Fantasy 6, probably fourth in my top 10. Final Fantasy 7. The other one is remake. So Final Fantasy 7 again, I'm going to put there. I'm going to put it higher than 4, lower than 6. Final Fantasy 7 is great, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic game, fantastic story. Everyone knows Final Fantasy 7 at this point. I played... Final Fantasy 7 was my second Final Fantasy that I played, so that's probably why I'm not going to put it higher. It would definitely rank number 5 on the list, so... Remake I've not played yet because I've been waiting for it to release on Xbox, and it hasn't, and after 3 years of waiting, I'm fed up with waiting, so I'm going to buy it on the PlayStation. Final Fantasy 8 goes straight into S tier. Final Fantasy 8 is my favourite Final Fantasy. It's the first one that I played. It has a lot of sentimental value for me as well. I remember the day when I bought it. Well, I say I bought it, my granddad bought it for me. I remember going in game and putting it out and him buying it for me. I don't have that with any other game. I couldn't tell you when I bought any other game, but Final Fantasy 8 I remember very vividly. Great story, great cast of characters again. I'm a sucker for anything to do with time travel. So yeah, Final Fantasy 8 is definitely S tier for me. Followed closely by Final Fantasy 9. Final Fantasy 9, growing up, I finished once and didn't particularly like the game growing up, but since playing it since then on modern consoles, I find that I enjoy it a lot more. I understand a lot more of the nuances of the characters and how deep the actual storytelling goes. Kind of didn't realise that growing up. So yeah, Final Fantasy IX is definitely deserving of S tier. So next we have Final Fantasy X. This is a tough one. I also need to put this in S tier. This is very borderline between bottom of S tier and top of A tier. Final Fantasy X is a great change to the general formula of the games. By the time we got to 10, I'd already played I played 7, 8, 9, I'd played 6, I'd played 4, I'd played 5. So yeah, I played most of the games from then, and then 10 came out and it changed up the system of how the game was played. It was no longer pretty open world. It was quite linear. But yeah, Final Fantasy X again is great. I recommend that to anyone starting out with the series. Between 4, 7 and 10 basically is that's generally where you should start, depending on which type of game you want to experience. Final Fantasy X-2 is going there in C. I'm going to put it higher than 5 because I finished it. It's a weird one. The story is really bad. But the gameplay is quite decent. They did a little bit something different to 10 with the battle system, but it's very similar. And then you've also got, it brought back the job system as well, which was pretty damn good. But yeah, Final Fantasy X-2 I'd definitely put higher than 5, but no higher than C. Next we have 11. I have played 11. Not a fan of MMOs. I got to level 50, I think, with Dark Knight. I had a monk that was quite a high level. I just faded in and out of it. I think one Christmas I got Fallout 3 and then never went back to it. So, yeah, it's okay. Even at D rank, it's still better than quite a few games I've played. So, Final Fantasy 12. This is a tough one. I'm going to put it in not played yet, but I'm going to put it right in. There's a reason I'm doing that. Although I have played Final Fantasy 12, and I have put 50 hours into it, I came home one night from work and my brother had deleted the save data. And then I could never bring myself to go back and play it. So at some point I am going to play it as a Let's Play on the channel. But until then I'm going to keep it as not played yet, because I don't feel that it's very fair to rank it anywhere. Because I'd have to rank it like COD because I've not finished it. So yeah, that's going there for now. Final Fantasy 13 I'm going to put in B tier. Final Fantasy 13 is a weird one. It's not terrible, but it's also not good. I wouldn't recommend it over any of these 6 games, but then I would recommend it more than these ones. It's kind of weird. What I didn't like about 13 was that it prevents you from progressing level wise at various points, so you can't over level, which was a bit of a weird thing with an RPG where it's normally you can just level up at your own pace, and 13 just stops you most of the game. So that's why it's going in B. 13.2 I enjoyed a lot more than 13 because It is a time travel storyline, which I love time travel stories. I'm not going to put it any higher than that because I don't feel that it's on the same level as these ones for story and stuff, or just general gameplay, but I definitely prefer it to 13, prefer it to all of these, so it's going there, and in returns it's going there. Absolutely hate Lightning Returns. I've got the full 100% for it. Hated every minute of playing it. It's completely the opposite from any of the other Final Fantasy games that I've played before. There's not another Final Fantasy game that's anywhere close to it. The time mechanic that it has, which is like similar to Majora's Mask, where various different things happen at various different times and stuff like that, was like okay as a mechanic, but like it didn't really do it as well as Majora's Mask does. The combat was trash. It just wasn't good. Just absolutely wasn't good. That's probably the one Final Fantasy game that I will never replay for the channel. Next we have 14, which I've not played yet, just because my PC is not good enough to... I don't feel my PC is good enough to play Final Fantasy 14 properly, and I don't have a PlayStation yet. So maybe I'll play it in future, who knows. 15 is definitely a C rank. Thing with 15 is it's really good for like the first 2/3 of the game when it's open world and you can go off, and there's lots of fan service with like the music from in the cars and stuff like that. It's generally like okay for the first 2/3 of the game, and then the story just completely nosedives for the last third, just out of nowhere. And then obviously there's bits that were taken out for DLC, which I still need to go back and play at some point. But yeah, 15, it's a tough one. I mean, it's about the same as 13. It's just the last third's just absolutely terrible. Mystic Quest I've not played, and World of Final Fantasy I have played and quite enjoyed it. So that's going to go there. I enjoyed Pokemon, so because I enjoyed Pokemon, I enjoyed World of Final Fantasy as well. There are obviously a few Final Fantasy games missing from this list. Type 0 I'd probably put about here. Didn't enjoy it. It was okay. The Game Boy games, which were obviously Saga in the West rather in the East rather than Final Fantasy. I have played them, but didn't particularly enjoy playing them, so they'd probably go there at D. Interested to see where Final Fantasy 16 is going to drop as of next week. Tomorrow. As of tomorrow, as of recording this video. Anyway, that is my list. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Let me know in the comments. And I will catch you later. Hopefully for some more Final Fantasy.